Peekaboo, I see you. Let's talk about cabbage worms for a moment. Do you see these little white things on my plant right there? Those are cabbage worm eggs, and they are laid by a wonderful, beautiful little white butterfly that you might think is just innocently flying around. Here are some more examples right here of those eggs. And here is some examples of the damage that those little baby cabbage worms have already done to my poor plants. The source is being a little bit camera shy today, but that little white butterfly right there is the culprit. So what happens is those little white guys you see flying around will come and look like they're just beautifully resting on these plants, but what they're actually doing is laying eggs. Here is an example of little baby cabbage worms. They are very green, they're very tiny, and they blend in, so you really need to be looking for them. However, you do not have to look far for the damage. If you see little holes like this in your leaves, this means that you have something that is snacking on your plants before you're able to. So there's a few things that you can do about this. You can put netting over this because they cannot get through that, or you can get like a cloche or like a little wire basket that you can put over so they can't get through, and that way they can't actually lay the eggs on top of it. You can also use diatomaceous earth. This is probably one of the only times that I do that because I'll put it at the very bottom where they hopefully will not land, and it will not affect the bees because they have no flowers on them to come over here. Diatomaceous earth does work, but if it gets on the bodies of the bees or the butterflies, it will actually hurt them. The best course of action is to be proactive. Get some DT around at the bottom or cover them. These are not crops that have to be pollinated by anything. There is no reason for a butterfly or bee to need to get to them, so they're very safe to cover and help you to get a much better yield this spring or fall, which is what I'm trying to do. Hopefully this helps. Bye y'all.